Okay guys, so what we're doing today is we're going to remove some of these panels right here. I think I've got the camera set up in a position where you should pretty much be able to see what I'm doing. If I see anything small that I need to point out, I'll move the camera, but I think that's good. Also, for those of you who didn't know, one of the features of the Versa, the seats, if you pull them all the way forward, will actually fold flat with the back seat. I don't know if anyone knows that. And I have actually slept in the car like this before. It is possible. And I'm 6 feet, so feet are a little cramped at the end. But if you open up the glove box, put your feet in the glove box. Yeah, it's kind of creepy. Okay, so what we're doing today is we're removing some of this trim. All the things that I have that are painted already, like the shift and the door inserts, those are all getting redone with Plastidip, and I'm also going to do a few other pieces of the car that I haven't done yet. But, so what I need to do is I need to take them out, and I figured it was a good time to remove everything and show everyone how to do it. First thing you're going to do, we're removing this whole center console assembly right now. So everything from here to here is getting removed. The next section of the video will be the actual center console with the radio and AC controls, all that. But so we're going to start here. Now this piece right here with the 2 cup holders and the, I use it for my change, but you can use it for whatever. Now there is a little notch. We move that up, I'll show you. There's a notch right here. You can shove a knife or a screwdriver or anything in there. And lift up this panel. This whole piece comes up. But what I found is actually easier, make sure you can see, is if you actually just take this, pull it up. There are no screws that hold this in, so that comes right out. And then you don't have to even do anything with that. So that's the first section there. You're going to want to yank up on the e-brake to get it out of the way. Take this and move it. And I do have attached to here is my amp switch. Next thing you're going to do is take the section right here. It's hard to see because of the, there we go. So all we're going to do is take this, pull up on it, this whole section comes right out. So there's that. And to get these apart, there's just tabs in the back here. They're hard to get, I'll tell you that. It's hard to get them. But it does come out. I'm probably going to leave that in this time around the Plastidip, because this is a pain in the ass. So we're going to leave that together. So now we've got everything we can take off by just pulling up on it. Now we've got some screws, and we've also got a couple of nuts we have to take off. So we're going to go into my screwdriver case here. You're going to need the Torx bit, and it's a Torx, I'm not sure what size this is, T20? Yep, T20. So there are 2 screws at the front here. I'll show you those. So 2 screws here that hold in this whole piece, and then 2 more screws that hold in the front end. So we're going to go ahead and undo these. And then I've also got down here 2 nuts, which, they're on tight right now. But all I'm going to do to get those off is use a pair of pliers, because it's hard to get a ratchet in there unless you have a really long extension. I just prefer to rip them off with a pair of pliers. They're not very tight, so once you crack them with the pliers, they come right out. Okay, so put the camera back down. I do recommend using a long screwdriver, because there's not a lot of room to work here. Oh, and I lost my bit. Make sure you don't do what I just did and lose screws. We'll get that later. Make sure you're taking the screws out when you move them, that you're putting them in a place where you can get to them. Or where you can keep track of them, I should say. So, like, I usually put all of mine either in one of the cup holders here, something like that. Now I need to get those screws. So I'm going to take out my pliers, and all I'm going to do is just crack them loose. pliers. You can also use an adjustable wrench or a open-end wrench. Any of those will work. There we go. So yeah, once you cracked it, you can just pull them right out. That's what they are. There we go. So we got both of them. We got both screws. This is kind of tricky to work out, but there you go, just like that. So that's all out. That's the bracket right there that the bolts go through. So we got that out. Yeah, I was looking for that. Now the reason I'm doing all this today is because we're going to be plastic dipping, and it's a lot easier to work on this stuff with it out of the car. I think this I'm going to leave because I'm not doing anything with it right now. I think we're just going to leave it in the car. I'm not going to worry about it. So now there's two torque spits up here. Those ones I showed you earlier, we'll take those out. Sorry about the screwdriver. Okay, there's one. There's the second one. Okay, so we got both of those. And now this is kind of, it's free moving, but it's not free yet. We have a couple more screws to remove. And I'm going to move the camera, and you'll see that in just a sec. Alright, so what we got to do now is we're in the footwells here. Sorry if it's a little bright. But so this big panel right here, we're going to pop that right off. It can be a little hard to, there you go. Just going to give it a tug. You can see my wiring mess. That's one of the things we're going to clean up. If you want, you can take out this guy back here, or you can leave this in. You don't need to actually take this all the way off. I think I might. Yeah, I am going to. So to remove that piece, we don't need the torque spit now, but we will need it in a minute, so I'll leave it out. We're going to just take a Phillips bit. Hopefully you can see that. It's a little dark, I know. There we go. So, this is a little just plastic screw. You just unscrew the notch, and it should pop right out. And then, there you go. And just be careful not to lose it. That's what it is. Well, yeah, I'm dropping it. So that's what it is. It's just like the plastic tabs that hold in the trunk trim, and same thing that's on the bumpers, except this one has a screw head that you just have to unscrew, and it should come right out. So that's that. There's the same thing on the other side. And then we have right here the last little torque screw to remove this section. Okay, so now this side is free. And now I'm going to go get the other side, and I'll get back to you. Alright guys, so got those couple screws out. I'm going to move all my my quarters here. Roll them in dough. For those on the seat. I'm going to have to put the camera down again. Try to give you guys a good angle. See it from there, sorta, kinda. Alright, so all I'm doing is, this just comes right out. You might want to, you're going to have to move the gear shift lever. Oh, I gotta start the car for this, don't I? Turn the car on. Put it in neutral. You have to take this out in neutral. I don't think you can get it out. And then we're going to put it back in park. Shut the car off. Okay. So, I got that out. Now what I'm going to do is, I've got to take those screws out from my base knob there. Once that's out, this is pretty much done. I'm going to start cleaning up some of this wiring. It's a mess, I know. Alright, be back in a bit, guys. Alright, guys, so now that everything's out, we've got a ton of wires here that are just all hanging out. This is the, we've got all the wires from the LED glow. This is the turn-on lead for my subwoofer. We've got the bass knob there. Basically just a whole bunch of stuff that's kind of just hanging out now. So what I'm going to be doing is I got some masking tape, got some cable ties. We're going to tie stuff up, make it all nice and neat. So it's one like this, basically. There's a ton of wires in here, but it all is one strand. That's what I'm going to try to do right now. Look at that. That's nifty. So yeah, that's what we're doing right now. It's also a good time to clean up a little bit. It's gross. So that's what I'm going to get done. And I'll get back to you. See that now. I'll get back to you in a little bit with the finished result. Okay guys, so before I finish this up, I want to give you guys an idea of how I do my wire wrapping. So you can see I've got, basically, as you go along, I've got all these little joints, basically, that hold everything in together. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and do a big wrap of everything all at once. Now the reason I'm using masking tape and not electrical tape, granted electrical tape is an insulator. Here's the problem I have with electrical tape though. As it ages, it gets sticky and gooey, and if I ever want to undo this wiring, I don't want it to be like that. I don't want it to be nasty. So I'm going to use masking tape, which will probably dry out and become brittle. But it's not going to be gooey nasty when I take it apart. So that's why I'm doing it this way. Also, I just happen to have a bunch of masking tape laying around. I don't have a whole lot of electrical tape. So I'm using what I got. So I'm going to put the camera down, show you guys what I'm doing here. See if we can angle it right. There we go. So I'm just going to go around and do a nice big wrap of all the wires I got here. But you get the idea. That's pretty much how I'm doing it. Alright guys, so I did end up taking this panel off. I wanted to go for the full look, and I wanted to dip this too. Cover here, so all it is you've got your little plug right here. You push in on the tab right there. Push in on that tab, and it just pulls out. It took me a couple tries the first time I did it, but it'll come right out. So I got everything zip tied. This is all in place now. It's not going anywhere. It's amazing how much space you have in the car when you don't have all that. Yep. So, time to get back to work. Alright guys, just did a little test fit. We got the harness down in there, nice and snug. Everything fits, so we're good to go. Yeah, so harness is in. I'm going to do some zip tying now. I did find out the way, there is a way to remove this with it in park. I just forgot. What you have to do is you have to kind of bring it up and then twist it out of the way until it comes free. Yeah, so you can get it out. Alright, so that's out. I'm going to zip tie this onto the harness below it right there. We'll zip tie that all together and call it good for now. And I'll get to the rest of the dash. We're going to do, I think we'll do the glove box, that panel, all of these. I'll cover how to remove all this stuff. This big panel down here. That comes out, this comes out, that comes out. This, if we have time, I'll get to the steering wheel trim and maybe even the gauge cluster. So that's all the stuff I'm going to do next. But I'm going to make this a couple separate videos. There'll be a third video on the headliner. But we're going to have to split it up. So that's it for now, and see you guys later.